such a thin majority?
Well, some of us would be happy with 7,000 majorities when we were MPs, but having said that, what's happening in London particularly, not in the rest of the country actually so much, but in London, is a big swing to the Labour Party. We saw that in the local elections. And Uxbridge now is clearly very marginal and on the Labour Party's radar to pick up potentially at the next election. So we could be faced with a situation where the Prime Minister loses his seat. That's not impossible. I don't think the Prime Minister's ever lost his seat in my memory, but this is possibly going to happen here because 7,000 is not a great majority in London, and we saw a whole range of council seats move across to Labour at the last local elections. Of course, you can theoretically be a Prime Minister without your seat in the House of Commons.
Right, explain that one to me.
Because you're theoretically appointed by the Queen, and the Prime Minister can come from the Commons or the Lords in legal terms. I think the last time we had a Prime Minister not in the Commons was, I think, Lord Salisbury in 1902, so it's not the recent situation we've seen, but theoretically it's possible.
So he couldn't enter the House?
Well, he couldn't sit in the House. You'd have to make a statement from the House of Lords. We do have ministers in the House of Lords. I mean, in my time, we had Andrew Adonis, the Transport Minister, was actually in the House of Lords, and statements were made from there. He had somebody repeating those statements in the Commons. It could be done, but it's clearly very unusual.
Okay.